Oh, that was like so. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, and today I'm going to share my journey into Amazon. So let's hit it. I want to share the first couple months of selling on Amazon, what that looks like, and then probably what I would do differently, and some definitely tips if you're getting started in the new year. I was a Poshmark seller in the height of Poshmark, when you were like hosting parties, taking pictures with Manish, all of it. And it was awesome. And I was looking for a way though to get out of the one-off game. You know, like you find a shirt, you sell it, you have to go back and find another shirt. And Amazon seemed to answer that. Although when I started into Amazon, people were selling books. I was at the end, like normal. I got in there when the party's ending. And it wasn't as lucrative. They were restricting how many books you can send and on and on and on. So books really didn't answer the question. And I have a lot of respect for booksellers because that is a hustle. The two main ways to sell on Amazon like 5 years ago when you Googled it was wholesale or books. And it was difficult to find anything in between. And I don't know if there was gatekeeping going on, what was happening, but it just, where's the information? It was gone. It was gone. Nowhere. My first run at Amazon, I was inspired, intrigued, I can do this. I did get a collection of random books together and all this random crap from the store. And it wasn't like, when I teach them, like, ask the questions, right? Get to the bottom of the questions, create some material, like information. So it's not a question anymore. I didn't do that. It wasn't, can I sell this? Should I sell this? It was just like throw it in a box and send it in and see what happens. And it led me to lose tons of money on both fronts. I would buy crap, get it home, and I was gated. And then I would send it in and it would never sell. As you can imagine, not approaching it seriously, giving it the time it deserves. After about 6 months, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I recalled all of my inventory, and it's like the walk of shame is what I call it, because when you recall inventory, they send it back to you one box at a time, broken in pieces. I remember verbalizing, saying, never doing this again. I'm not selling on Amazon. I went back to Poshmark and eBay, and it just made more sense to me. I didn't have the time, all of it, right? Well, then shutdown happened, and we had time. We all had time. And they closed the thrift stores, and the writing could not be clearer, right? I couldn't go to the thrift store anymore, and I had time. I'm going to focus on Amazon. And overnight, if you were selling in that, I had a bunch of discontinued random stuff up. It sold overnight. And so automatically, okay, we're in the game. I'm focusing. And from that moment on, really sitting down with all the time I had, focusing on why was it selling? Why was it not selling? How did I get the buy box? Focusing on merchant fulfilling orders, which is something I like to do. And it was important that I was merchant fulfilling at the beginning because I'd lost so much money on FBA and I didn't want to take that risk again financially. I was like, I'm only merchant fulfilling orders. If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. That's kind of what happened. When you get started selling on Amazon, you are gated. They put you in this little circle and give you a very few items you can sell. And if you sell those things well, consistently, on time, they will ungate you and you can sell more things. So for me, what I did was, so typically when you get started, you can sell like paper products, paper plates, plastic forks, some art supplies. So I was looking for that stuff, selling it. I hit a really good time when shutdowns happened and all of a sudden people were getting online for art supplies, chalk, and I just started selling volume and I started getting ungated in other categories. So you definitely can go about ungating with getting invoices from distributors, submitting those invoices to Amazon, and you'll get ungated in that category. It's not too expensive. It doesn't take too much time. You don't have to open an account necessarily with these distributors. You don't have to place a $10,000 order. You just have to place the minimum, which sometimes it's $100. Sometimes it's just buying the 10 units you need and that's it. Or you can take 4 years. It's been 4 years. I'm ungated and everything. I've paid maybe once or twice to get ungated in things like Starbucks, brands that have hard gates. But other than that, I've just been auto ungated because I sell volume. I can sell Lego, all Disney, all of it. And it was just because taking time and volume, selling a bunch of orders and I get ungated. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. It takes it's been 4 years. So yeah, at the beginning of my process, I could only sell a couple things. I was going to the store, scanning it in the store. I can sell this. I would list it, and if it sold, I would go get more. And that was like rinse, repeat, which is still something you can do around Q4 time, around the Christmas season. You can literally sell your products before you check out at a register. It's insane. But because of that season, 4-ish years ago, that people were really focusing on merchant fulfilling orders for a lot of reasons, but shutdown made it so Amazon was completely overwhelmed. They were only taking certain products in a warehouse. It took forever to get your products checked in. So a lot of people, all the sellers, were focusing on merchants. So of course I was like already ready. The first time I was ahead of the game. For like a year, I ran around and I would get random products either on clearance. Grocery stores would have markdowns. Like my local grocery stores would have pasta, like buy 3, get 3 free. Okay, we're in. And that's kind of how I ran my business for a while. And this style of online arbitrage, RA, retail arbitrage, merchant fulfilling, for me was completely new. But I also feel like it's become more popular recently, especially after COVID. At that time, not as popular. I mean, obviously, if you want to scale Amazon, which that's what Amazon is about, you want to scale, you're FBAing, you're fulfilling, Amazon is fulfilling those products from a warehouse for you. So it makes sense. That time and season was, I have an addictive personality, and so it was just like this golden carrot in front of me. I was out in a shop all of the time. At that point as well, weights were really big. I was just telling this story earlier. Lifting weights, like we were all sitting at home trying to get better. We were baking bread and we were working out. And I was selling the weights that were available at Walmart on Amazon. Selling them by the literal U-Haul load. And broke our car suspension on the SUV. And I just went hard in the sauce. I loved it. And from that, I created community because like anybody will tell you this in this space, you get together with like your 3 other seller friends who are doing this and you exchange leads, ideas, questions, what like brands that are coming for you, don't do this, big exclamation point. And that really fuels your business. It sends you in a direction when you wake up and you're feeling crap, you're in the community. And so I created a community that was that for online and retail shoppers, sellers on Amazon, was that daily get up, like the caffeine injection. We're doing this, we're gonna look for deals, we're gonna shop, you gotta spend money to make money, resources and leads. And that is where the dream of Crazy Flippin' Mom came from, was like, we need this community to fuel our sourcing adventures. My process has, thank God, evolved. And that's what I would say is where you start is so clumsy. Like, you know, it takes 100 hours to find a good lead, find a good idea to even contemplate buying. Now it's so much more refined. I have the tools in place. I would say at the beginning, I was leery, like, how long will this work? Even on Poshmark, my first question on Poshmark when I started was, is this a scam? So I just was leery about investing in tools like Keepa, investing in getting ungated, because I was afraid I would invest money and then I wouldn't be able to continue to do it. Once I created that process, things just made more sense. Time, things make more sense. Community, things make more sense, and on and on. But definitely some things, tips from my journey I would give you. Basically all the things you should not do, and I did them all. The biggest issue I see for new sellers is they go into a store, if they're going to shop in a store, with no direction. They just walked in. And I only go into a store if I have something to buy. I can fill a cart in 2 seconds because I know exactly what I'm in there to get. So instead of going into a store, randomly walking around, I do all of my research, all of my prep at home. I, in general, want to know what I'm buying, how much the store has. I also remember like driving states, and I would go to a store like not even knowing if they had anything. Just refining my process along the way has made all of those little steps so much easier. I would say a big pain point that is still a pain point is money. You know, like especially at the beginning, you put all this money into it, and then 6 weeks later, you're like, where is my money? This is not quick money. It takes a while to get back. I've talked about this in other videos, but especially at the beginning when you are investing, you're typically reinvesting all of your profits. And there is this like, you're building the snowball, right? And at some point there is this tipping over the mountain where it becomes easier. But if you're building a business, you don't always see those payouts at the beginning, especially if you have a job and you are in the place where you can just keep Amazon reinvesting it and growing. That's awesome. But for a lot of people like us, we weren't able to do that. So we get a payout of like $4,000. We would have to take off the top everything we needed to survive, pay our mortgage and groceries, and then we can reinvest a little bit at the end. And that was frustrating when you look around on social media and you see like huge numbers and growth, and you're only able to financially grow at a slow speed. That's still growth. Even if you're just maintaining, that's fine. Like, this should be working what you need it to be at. And to think that all of our growth is going to look the same in every season or whatever is totally unpractical. Is it impractical? Because I think I just said unpractical. Anyways, don't look around. Even if you jump in my community, you're going to see me buying, other people buying. There's no missing out. This is your journey. Make it your own. Like, buy what you feel comfortable. The limits to which you feel comfortable buying, because none of us understand your financial position, what other bills you have to pay. Don't overextend yourself here. That's out in 2024. Overextending yourself financially, done. The missteps I've made when I got started. Number one, you can apply for approval. So when you're new, basically everything you go to scan to sell, it'll say you need approval. Under that, you'll have this apply now button. Push it. Push that button. You might get auto approved. Second big misstep is buying before doing absolutely any research at all. Can you sell it? Should you sell it? Is the brand on it? Are you ungated? Are you making profit? Does the listing look healthy? Normal? Is there red flags in the listing? Just sitting down at a computer. I do this, but I'm going to say this. Just don't list from your phone. That's where mistakes happen. Sitting down at a computer, opening up the listing, and making good decisions for your business really happens sitting down at a computer, not in a store on your phone. Unrealistic expectations. Thinking in a month you're going to net $10,000 and this is not going to be slow growth and it's going to happen fast and you're not going to make any missteps and lose money. Totally unrealistic, not practical, and slow it down a little bit. If you have endless amount of time and money, let's go. You could net $10,000 in month one, but for a lot of people, not practical at all. I would say the other big misstep for me was time management and just not making good use of my time. Like standing in a store doing research, running around, not knowing if they had the product, not knowing how much, like they go to a store an hour away and they had two. What? And then to now, we make these mistakes, but I don't do that crap anymore. Gas is too expensive. I would say the other misstep was not understanding shipping, and it was overwhelming in general because on Poshmark, they send you the label and you can basically use any red USPS box. So I didn't understand hazmat. I didn't understand the cost of expedited shipping, and that cost me a lot of money to figure out. Probably that's the way to do it, but taking a second and understanding terms of service at USPS and UPS is going to keep you out of jail. In general, I think my biggest issue that I had in my business is that I didn't have a business background. I almost got my associates, and I'm street smart, so that I had that going for me. The overall mechanics of running a business has been a just learning process as we go, and that plays out for me in all of the little numbers you don't see. Like, I can look at a product and scan it, that's profitable, but did I consider the time it takes me to prep and ship that? Did I think about it's overweight, so it's going to cost double in shipping? The cost of boxes, shipping supplies, if you have to hire help, if there is damages in your workspace, and there's going to be damages, there's going to be like weird things that happen. You know, it's just like all part of the process, but that has 2 years ago, maybe by now, we had somebody break into our office, crushed a lot of product I had saved for Halloween. Like all of these things, you just learn a lot, painful lessons along the way. So if you are like me, I was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids. I have a high school diploma and almost an associate's. So I was really learning from square one how to run a business, and I'm not a guru at all in this, but I would say I've taken some hits, I've learned some lessons, and patience with the process. But I guess all that to say is you don't have to be like some sort of educated in business and finance and all of it to do this. Just take the time, apply yourself to the process. If I could start again, I would take it serious from the beginning. Because I had been doing so well on eBay and Poshmark, I just was like, okay, let's see if this works. Not giving it much time. Like I said, not investing in the tools. So if I started over, I would definitely like get the research tools I need put in place, open a separate bank account from the beginning. Like treat it like a job from the beginning. I would also get in community from the beginning, because that probably like the long-term growth of like understanding my business and numbers and sourcing has come directly from community, asking questions and hearing the missteps of other people. And my community people are very open. I'm very open to share, don't do this. And that has really guided me down my path. It also plays out in going to events, networking, putting myself out there and connecting with people like way above my pay scale, like down the road, years and years, 20 years into this, has been amazing for my business. Amazing. Okay, 2 more things. If I would start over, creating a process from the beginning, not just like randomly waking up and like, what's gonna happen today? I'm gonna buy all day, and then crap is everywhere. And create a process. What do you do today? Especially if you're managing your own time in your own week, you don't have another job you have to go to. Create a process for your business. It's gonna save you time and money at the end. Last but not least, FOMO is real in this business. We're posting only the gold bars that we're making, the big bags on social media. So it makes us all feel like we should be doing more. And again, no, in 2024, it's not about doing more. The end. Stick in your own lane. I spent a couple years like running after other people I was admiring. And then I realized they freaking had day jobs and weren't taking any money out of their business. And I wasted so much of my time trying to keep up with them. And our situations were black and white, completely different. And if I could say anything to you, stay in your own lane. Stay focused on your goal, what you want to get out of this. This should be working for you. And that really takes like taking a step back from trying just to keep up with other people. That's over this year. We all have different end goals with Amazon. Like there are people wanting to have a warehouse and employees, and other people who just want to get groceries and go on vacations, that sort of thing. And neither one of those are right or wrong. It's just what you're here for. And I think that's why I love reselling in general, whether you're on eBay, Amazon, Walmart, all of it, is this can create the life you want. That's what this is about. And that's what I want it to be for me. If you are not looking to like scale this to the moon, this is probably the good place for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time to watch this, share it with your friends. I appreciate it. I hope this was encouraging to you. We all start in pretty much a cluster. And 6 months, even years down the road, kind of a cluster. If I could pan around my view here and see all the return boxes, it's kind of a cluster, but we continue on. Thank you for being here. I'm sending you all of my love, all of the goodness you deserve. Bye.